tagging, there wasn't the rate of murder. It's because the family was intact and we were teaching values in the schools and we knew the difference between right and wrong. And you did not go around and destroy other people's property.
Hang on.
Gkae, go on.
Hang on. My graffiti has nothing to do with poverty because I came from a good family, you know. They tell me right from wrong. It's just I choose to do this, you know. This is what makes me feel good. This is what I like to do. And I'm going to do it no matter what.
See, but maybe Gkae, maybe what you're doing is the thing that's upsetting you, Brett. Maybe it's the fact because you say it makes you feel good and you don't care that you're destroying other people's property. And then we're hearing, wait a minute. Then we are hearing from other young people who are saying they need an outlet. It's a form of expression. Keith Haring is a famous artist. He's dead now, but he was a graffiti artist, and now he had an outlet. He became an artist that I have his work in my house. So maybe it's not that all tagging, and I have to tell you something, this is definitely an education for me, but maybe all tagging isn't about destruction.
I got a few comments. First of all, when they were speaking on, like earlier during the show when they were saying, the man stood up and he showed the back of his shirt with the guy killed because he was against tagging. Then we hear this man say he gave much respect to her because of her brother, whatever the case may be. But when he was standing up showing his shirt and they were talking about what happened to people that was against it, they had all these taggers here, we had the ones on stage, they applauding and clapping, but now they're showing respect for it. Another thing, they talk about graffiti and tagging, how it's an art, go to art school. They want to do that.
My art school.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I do.
One last thing.
I do.
This guy come up here and he talking about how proud you one person out of how many?
Huh? Hey, there's plenty of good stories. Yeah. I have plenty of friends that have already graduated.
This young man here, he acting like he's so proud. The ones on the screen, they acting proud. They all talking about, you know, how much of a rush they get and all this. Half of them are cowards. He got a mask on. The ones on TV got a mask on. We were speaking about graffiti here in the crowd. We were speaking about it here. Me and my brother here, we was talking about it. This young man here, he turned around looking back and forth to hear what we talking about. Here we talking about, he turned around, he hush-hush. He turned to his boys, they hush-hush. As soon as they get to talking about something on the show, one of them stand up and say something, then they clapping and cheering for him. They ain't number followers.
Thank you.
Hey, no, they not just followers.
Thelma, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, we've got, of course, the graffiti artist right here doing what he's doing. He's in progress. What did you want to say to some of the people back in the studio?
Well, I think basically that, I started off just writing on the streets like most of the kids do, but I moved on to piecing. But, I mean, for a lot of kids, they can't do that because there aren't a lot of guys like us around, you know, teaching.
But they want to know why you don't just get a canvas and do art in your own house instead of on people's property.
Well, it's not all about just doing it on people's property. A lot of time it's just, you know, we have like spots we call yards, and a lot of time they're out of the public eye. But, you know, it's like we've chosen these spots, but then like the law enforcement or whoever comes in and shuts them down. So then we go and do it in the public, you know.
But it's not your property anyway. I mean, even if it's a yard, like this is a yard. This isn't yours. Why do you do this here? Why do you do this anywhere?
Because nobody cares about this spot. You know, nobody does. I mean, there's homeless people like right down here in the pit right next to us, and there's trash all over the place. So we just come here to add a little color. You know what I'm saying? For some people.
That would be great if that was, you know, we have to go to a break, but that would be great if that was the only place it was being done. But you're not hearing about just those places. We're hearing about businesses and other public properties.
But see, for most kids, they're not being shown respect, so they don't have respect for anything out there. I mean, if you're respected all your life, I'm sure you're going to have respect for other things. But if you're never given any chances or any kind of respect, then you're not going to respect anything.
All right,
you know?
Well, we're going to talk about that respect. Up next, tagging for dollars. Who's making money off graffiti? And you'll be surprised, so stay with us.
Miss Selfridge is about clothes that you have fun in. Miss Selfridge really is the heart of fashion. But we want our clothes to stay looking great.
Sarah Golding.
We're talking to people who say, stop trashing my neighborhood. They say graffiti is vandalization. That's all.
You know, personally, I like to say that, you know how you go to museums and you see a bunch of paint just splashed up on the wall or a statue of something twisty? I'd rather go to an alley and see a big mural done to where I can read it and like all the colors. When you go to a museum, you don't know what that means. Somebody just splashed the paint up on a piece of paper. You don't know what that means. But if you go to an alley, I can read that speed. You know, I like it. I like the colors, and it's just a form of expression, you know? It's the way they get off, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather, I mean, like he said, he was in the alley. If I seen 4 guys in the alley tagging on the wall, I'm not going to bother them. I'm going to keep walking and mind my business.
And all that's going to do is invite more crime and more problems in your neighborhood.
Excuse me, as an educator, we all talk about how society is wrong and how we're not trying to do this and that. None of us in this audience has talked about solutions. You seem very intelligent. You have a gift. You can turn that around. Get your little youth going.
Well, I do.
Not you, the man right here. Yeah, but Skept in school, right? Yeah, like you're in school.
Yeah.
As a coach, as a teacher, I'm trying to help those kids along just like you can.
Great.
Instead of saying...
That's like one of my goals is like maybe even go on and get my MFA. And if I were to teach, I'd teach in the worst ghettos.
And
I know that out of those maybe a class of 20, 30 students, maybe 1 or 2 will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take art as my route.
You know, that is
break
right.
out. And 1 or 2 students out of maybe 20 or 30, hey, man, that's good enough for me.
But it starts now.
I even have a friend in the audience right now that works with kids.
Can I ask her a question?
Yes.
Are you teaching your students right and wrong and to respect people's property?
See, let me tell you, hold on.
Good.
I am teaching my students not only to be better basketball players, but to be better human beings. Whether that is, as I said this before, and they can attest, I was not put on this earth to judge them. I am here to help them to be better people. And whatever, if I turn one person around, then hey, I've done my job.
Good.
All right, everybody, you know what? Roker ex-tagger, and now you have a magazine. Is that
now
right?
I do a magazine.
It's called Herb?
It's called Herb,
You guys know it? Do you identify with these guys when they're talking about tagging and doing graffiti?
Well, I mean, you know, I know this kid. I've known him for like 10 years. You know, we rode together in the early 80s, and I came up just with an appreciation for hip-hop culture. And the main thing I've seen deteriorate is I've seen the violence escalate, and I've seen that, you know, change with people, and that's really scary. You know, I'm concerned he's out there doing this, but it started about art. It started about culture.
How did it help you?
As far as me, it gave me an edge. You know, it gave me the style that I brought, the graffiti that I took.